Hey Geeks! We're back with another Supergirl review, this time reviewing Supergirl Season 2, Episode 11, titled The Martian Chronicles.
And if you haven't seen it yet, spoiler warning.
All around, I really enjoyed this episode. It was full of action, the fight sequences were amazing.
Yes. The graphics were really cool, the monsters, they looked great.
And I really like seeing the White Martians again. And since M'gann has left and gone back to Mars to try and find other White Martians that think the way she does, I really hope we get an episode on Mars. I think that would be awesome. But that said, I'm kind of bummed that M'gann did leave because I like her and Jean-Jean's together.
Yeah, and I really hope they're not just writing her out of the show. I'd be really sad if she was gone.
Yeah, she's a great character, and that's a ship that I can get behind, M'gann and Jean-Jean's.
Definitely.
Way more than Kara and Mon-El.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever rooted against a ship more than I'm rooting against Kara and Mon-El. And on the topic of ships, can I just say how adorable Maggie and Alex are? Oh my gosh.
Like, I love that Alex totally flaked on Bare Naked Ladies without any communication whatsoever, and Maggie's like, you work with aliens. Of course this is gonna happen. Like, she totally understood, which is how it would actually be. They both work in police work, more or less, and she knows that she works with aliens, so of course she knows stuff like this is gonna happen.
Yeah. So if she wasn't cool about it, that would be a major red flag.
And a lot of shows would have went that way.
Yeah.
They would have had her get mad, and I'm so happy they didn't. It's so cliche, and I'm glad that they made her understand, because she would have if this was real life.
Like I feel like if this was Arrow, Felicity, she would have been real mad.
Yeah, exactly.
And
she was like, what do you mean you were kidnapped by aliens and put unconscious and you didn't call me to cancel our date?
Yeah, I feel like Felicity probably would have gotten real pissed off.
Yeah.
But Maggie was totally cool about it because she understands.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that Supergirl does really well. They're good at the relationships.
Yes.
That said, I really don't like Mon-El and Kara together, and I really hope that maybe Kara is displacing her feelings. Like, maybe she just feels kind of isolated because Alex is with Maggie now. Wynn and James are doing their own thing, being heroes, and they're not spending really any time with her
So she's
outside
kind of by
of work.
herself. Yeah, so maybe she's just feeling lonely.
I kind of hope that's what it is, and maybe she'll, because I feel like the will they won't they, that they will eventually, and maybe it just won't be anything. Maybe she'll go, oh, okay, this isn't what I thought it was, and they'll break it off, just like what she did with James.
Yeah.
Because this really does feel like kind of a recycled storyline.
Yeah, and
which
that's kind of one of our problems with it. Like, one, we don't like them together, but if you are gonna do them together, why are you repeating the exact same storyline as Kara and James?
Yeah.
Like, it's the exact same thing. Will they, won't they? She finally realizes she has feelings for him, and he's now with somebody else, and like, it's just tired.
and that is something that CW does fairly often. They recycle storylines over and over and over again. Somebody has a secret and they don't tell someone, and then the person gets pissed off.
Yeah.
There's the will they, won't they over and over again, that kind of stuff. And that's one of the downfalls of CW. Whereas some of the things, like in Supergirl, like in this episode, she just basically, she could have like super speeded through the DEO looking for the White Martians, and instead she's creeping along with Alex and they have a talk. I'm like, come on, this could have been over by now.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of, that's how they built the tension, and that's fine. CW does that all the time.
Yeah,
and it's fine.
It's necessary. Just like they split off conveniently into groups of people who needed to talk to each other, and they had those conversations. They needed to have those conversations. This was a good way to do it, to work it into the story. Totally reasonable. Not very plausible, but reasonable. Like, you understand why they did it, and it was necessary for the story.
And then with the two White Martians in the DEO, which when you're watching it, I'm like, okay, there's got to be at least two, but even then, there's not enough time for them to do what it was that they did.
Yeah, the swap out with Wynn, they didn't have enough time.
Well, first of all, the M'gann that came in was a White Martian, and then the real M'gann came in, and then Jean-Jean's and White Martian M'gann, the evil one, they fought, and then Wynn was gone, and Alex got replaced, and it's just like nothing really lines up as far as the sequence of events. But again, that's fine. That's something CW does very regularly. Just things just don't necessarily fit.
Yeah.
But again, that's the way the story goes, and you can live with it. But the recycled over and over again storylines, CW does that, and that can really kill a show.
Yeah. The other thing that's kind of common to CW is sloppy writing, and they've done a great job with Supergirl so far in not having the sloppy writing. It's one of the best written CW shows that they have right now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But they had kind of a glaringly obvious sloppiness in this episode, and that was Alex is with Maggie, and they're drinking, like, beer.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes into the DEO to talk to Kara, and one, changes for it, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense if she was just going to talk to Kara, and two, straps a gun to her thigh. She's been drinking. Like, I feel like she's by the book enough that that would not happen. That was out of character for her.
Any law enforcement officer would know not to have your sidearm on you when you've been drinking.
Yeah, and especially Alex, because she's very by the book regulation, and I don't see her doing that. If they wanted to do that storyline, she shouldn't have been drinking with Maggie prior. They should have just cut that part out.
Yeah. Just all you do is not have any liquor. That's
Yeah,
it.
no alcohol.
No booze.
Yeah, no booze.
But like we said, this was a really good episode. I think it was one of the better episodes of the season. There are just things in there that you can nitpick.
Yeah.
And because this is a review, we kind of have to point those things out.
And the episode was so good with other stuff that's why these things, that although we're pointing them out and it feels like we have more bad things to say about this episode than others, the good stuff was good enough that it kind of overcame it. It still made a really great episode.
And the good stuff, it was so good that the stuff that they missed on, it kind of stuck out as a sore thumb.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of a little more obvious to pick out the mistakes in this episode, I think. So, like I said, we did really enjoy this episode.
Promise.
It was really, really good. I want to know what you think about it, so let us know down in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this video, tell us by dropping a like on it, and subscribe if you already haven't.
And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.